Welcome to this week's Talk of the Town. I'm your host, Roberta DeRozier. I've got a I use this word too often, but I have an incredibly special guest today. Welcome. I do. I am honored to do this because I know you're well known in the community, and I just think that you have that extra little something that people love just to talk to you. So welcome, Archdeacon Wilma Woods. Thank you for joining us today.
You're so welcome. Happy to be here.
So one of the main reasons I wanted to have you on, especially during this season, we are in the Lenten season right now, which is one of the cornerstones of the Christian community, obviously, and a very, very important time. And we have a really awesome event coming up in Estevan. Do you want to tell us about it?
Yes. This is the first year we're doing it. We're doing the Walk of the Cross on Good Friday morning. We're beginning at 9 o'clock. And the Walk of the Cross means we're carrying the cross, and we're carrying a cross. We'll be taking turns. We're going from Trinity Lutheran down to the Salvation Army, and then we're going to stop at the city office corner. And from there, we'll be going over to St. Giles and to the Catholic Church, St. John the Baptist, and then we'll end up at the United Church and at St. Paul's. And
that was a long trek.
It is, but we're going to have breaks. We're going to have breaks. At each church, we'll be stopping and going inside. We will have a piece of scripture read, prayer, and sing a hymn. And then we'll be given a question or a phrase to meditate on while we're walking to the next place.
Where did this idea come from? Obviously from Jesus, because he carried it, but recently, where did it come from, this event?
Well, when I was at Whitewood, my husband and I served at St. Mary's Anglican in Whitewood. And while we were there, the ministerial, it's been there for a lot of years. And so they did it, and there were several churches, and we walked from place to place. And every age group took part. From the little ones to seniors, and people who were able could. Sometimes people weren't able to walk the distance, or the little ones tired out, and so they would drive from place to place, or some people would relay it. And so to do the Walk of the Cross, you can take part by helping to carry it, because believe me, this cross this year is heavy enough to carry.
How big is it?
It's big.
Yeah.
It's 4x4s, and it's, I think, 10 feet long now, because I think it was 12 feet originally, and we found it was a little bit heavy, so we thought maybe we'd cut it back. So
this is a group of people carrying it.
This is a group of people. This is a community of people.
Wow.
This is a deeper time, especially on Good Friday, that it's in a way that we can partially enact what happened, and we're not going to come close to it really, but it still helps us to walk the walk in a sense. So
I agree. That'll be. So you did it in Whitewood.
We did.
A lot of people involved there.
Quite a lot, yeah. It's a small community, of course,
right.
But quite a lot of people. Several from each church, and it was a great ministerial experience there, that everybody could come together. And then after it was over, then some of the people went back to their own church for their own Good Friday service of prayer, which we will do here as well.
So I think we forgot to mention, you're from St. Giles Anglican Church.
I am from St. Giles Anglican.
Is there other churches being involved in this event?
Yes,
Okay.
Trinity Lutheran is involved, St. Paul's United, St. John the Baptist. I have to try and keep my saints straight here.
There's so many.
Yes, they're all, and they're all so different. And so anyway, yes, those churches, and whoever wants to take part. Like, you don't have to actually be a part of any church, or if you just want the experience and would like to, walk with us, we welcome everybody.
So do they need to register for it, or just show up?
Show up at Trinity Lutheran. We'll begin the walk at 9 a.m. and on Good Friday morning, and we'll go from there.
Good.
Just show up.
So for those who don't know, I said that we're in the Lenten season now, so that's the time leading up to Easter. Can you kind of explain a little bit about that?
Okay, so Easter, as we know, is a different day each year, which is a little bit frustrating for some of us. But anyway, because we kind of like, we have Christmas, so we have Easter, and it'd be nice to, but that's not the way it goes. And it's got to do with the vernal equinox and so on like that. But anyway, that's not, so we have Easter, and then we go back from there, 40 days plus the Sundays. So we begin
40 days plus the Sundays.
40 days plus the
I've
Sundays.
never counted it out. I didn't know
the
that.
The Sundays are out of Lent, but Lent begins, and it begins with Ash Wednesday, which of course is on a Wednesday, and it begins with Ash Wednesday. And Ash Wednesday, we gather together and we remember, and we're given ash on our forehead. So sometime in the spring, you may see your neighbor. This is the first time I ever saw anybody, was at a gas station, and there was a fellow, and he had black stuff on his forehead, and I thought, why? And then, because I came to the church as an adult, and so then it wasn't long after that that I found out what Ash Wednesday was about, and there was ashes put on the forehead in the form of a cross, and we are told, you are dust, and to dust you will return. Now that's a hard thing. That's a hard thing. And it begins Lent that way, so that we begin to think about who we are and where we are in the world, who we belong to, where we came from, how we fit in community. And so during Lent, it's a time of going a little bit deeper into who we are and what our faith is and how that forms us.
Why the 40 days?
40 days, well, 40 days, Jesus, when he was baptized, and it depends on which gospel you read, but they all form with Jesus is baptized out in the wilderness, and then he was baptized in the river and sent out into the wilderness for 40 days where he was tempted. Are you going to ask me about the chocolate now?
I was leading up to that.
Okay.
So before we went on air here, you were telling me that the Easter bunny, or the bunnies and the chocolate actually do have something to do with Easter.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the chocolate part comes in because, there's a fair number of religious that go, that's not what it's all about. It's not just chocolate and bunnies. And it's not just chocolate and bunnies. But chocolate and bunnies, hey, chocolate and bunnies are good stuff too. And I like bunnies and I like chocolate. So the chocolate comes in around the part where during Lent we give something up. So we give up our time, or, a lot of people like chocolate, so they'll give up chocolate. There's chocolate, so we get to Easter Sunday morning, yay, we get chocolate back. Now the bunnies are a little bit more, because it goes back to pagan times. And so in pagan times, bunnies are, they're very prolific little critters, as are chicks. And so it goes back into pagan times and the fertility symbols. And so that's where bunnies come in. It's not in the Christian part, but hey, we like bunnies too. So. And God created bunnies. So
yeah,
there you
for
go.
sure. Also, growing up, I remember, sorry, I don't follow it as much as I used to, but growing up we had no meat on Fridays during Christmas. Wow, during the Lenten season.
Yes.
Why is that? Why the no meat?
It's a giving up. It's a form of fasting. So for some of us, we choose to fast from something, and chocolate would be one of those things. But so the no meat is a form that comes through maybe your particular denomination. We Anglicans, I choose to fast on Ash Wednesday, Good Friday, and in my house, in our house, we do meatless Fridays. So, and you can choose. Like, it's about giving up something that makes you think and adds something to it. It's not meant to be a punishment. It's
it was actually the opposite in our house,
yeah.
because on Fridays during Lent we got pancakes, and because we couldn't have meat, so we loved Fridays at Lent. There was no sacrifice that day.
No.
Yeah. So as Anglican, you said that you came to the church as an adult.
I did.
Give me a little bit about your journey then.
Okay, I'll try and be a little bit more concise. But so I first went to Sunday school when I was a little kid. My mom thought that we should be sent to church and be sent to brownies, and so that's where I had my first exposure. And I love Sunday school, and I love Miss Mitchelton, and but then we moved out of town, and I grew up in a family where we lived out of town. We had horses, and we horse showed and rodeoed and did all those fun things, and didn't go to Sunday school for many, many years. Then I always had this place where I knew that there was something, and I knew I believed in Jesus. So I But I had a good life, and I was having a lot of fun as I went through. And so I got to a place, and I was a dental assistant, and my first dental boss, my first dentist, Elmer, would just invite me along to church. And he was always open and welcoming, and so I saw a side of Christianity. But it wasn't until later I was married, and so I married a Christian boy he was a preacher's kid.
Oh, okay.
And the preacher's kid wandered far. And
as they quite often do. They go through a bit of a phase there,
so the stories they can tell. But anyway, so I married him, but we didn't talk about church and or any of that. But then I met two women. I met two women. One was an Anglican priest, and one was a United Church minister. And those women are crazy. And they laughed, and they were so joyous in so much social justice work. And I said to Brian one day, I'll be going to church, will you be coming with me? And he said, yeah, I've been thinking about that. And I was glad that he was the one driving and not me, because I probably would have driven off the road. And he said, what church? And I said, well, let's try Jones first, and so, which was the Anglican church. And when I went in the Anglican church, lo and behold, there were people there that I knew that were my patients, but I did not know they were Christians. And so it was a really good first experience. And then I moved on from there, and Brian came home one day. He was in college, and he was going to be an accountant. That didn't work out. But anyway, he said, I think I'm called. And I said, called to what? And he said, I think I'm meant to be a priest. And I was like, you should go talk to Joan, and I'm going back to work. And he processed with that. And then there came a point in time where he was taking care of a church, before he'd gone to seminary actually, taking care of a United Church. And one Sunday I felt really called to say something. And I said, if I write a sermon, will you preach it? And he said, nope. You write it, you preach it. I said, fine, I will. And so I did. And the rest is history. And went on from there, and I just knew I was called into ministry, as was Brian. And we moved to Saskatoon. We sold farm and horses, and I finished with a career in dentistry after 26 years, and
wow.
that I really loved. And yeah.
So how long have you been here in Estevan with St. Giles?
I've been here in Estevan. You know, I was here in 2008 on an internship.
Oh, okay.
I was here, and but I came back, Ash Wednesday of 2017. So I've been here for 5 years now.
Wow,
Yeah.
good. And you came from Whitewood, right? So
I had a year in Weyburn, and before that I was 4 years in Whitewood, and before that I was in the Ile de Madeleine in Quebec.
wow,
Yeah.
you have been around.
Yeah,
Good.
it's been fun.
So Brian is also, I'm sorry, is it a priest or it's a minister in the Anglican Church, right?
Brian's a priest in
Okay.
the Anglican Church, yeah.
Okay,
And he is as well, yeah.
okay.
He's retired at this point, but
Oh, okay.
retirement doesn't mean a lot because he's still in a church every
Yeah.
Sunday.
So you're an archdeacon now.
I am.
What does that mean?
Archdeacon is a ministry because we have a bishop, but the diocese is large, and so we have a share in the bishop's ministry, and so it's divided into geographical areas. This is the Archdeaconry of St. Aidan, and it reaches up as far as Rocanville. So there's Rocanville over to almost into Regina, dips down below Regina, over to Moose Jaw and down to the border. And I
Wow.
have the churches in that area that I try and stay in contact with and help out as much as I can.
Right. But
That's
you
great.
still have your weekly services here.
I'm here.
In addition to assisting them whenever, whatever.
I do.
Okay. Wow, that's quite the large area.
It is. It's difficult now in that there's not many clergy, so it's trying to smaller churches and trying to keep everybody in contact and a part of the larger community, and to have clergy there for them on Sundays if at all possible.
Good. Now, I was telling you earlier, I haven't been in the Anglican Church. I've been in there many times for different events, that sort of thing. But one thing that I've read is that you guys actually have fun in church. Now, a lot of people
We
think
do.
that that's an oxymoron, is that you shouldn't be having fun in
Oh,
church, but
it
one of the
definitely-
things that you guys do is the blessing of the animals. Tell me
Yes.
about that.
Yes, well, it's the Feast of St. Francis in the fall, and beginning of October, and we have the blessing of the animals, and we encourage everybody to bring their animals. And if it's if it's ponies and horses, you can park your horse trailer in the lot across from the church, and I'm happy to go out there and bless. I would go out to your farm and bless as well. And but we have dogs and cats. There's only rules is you have to keep them on a leash or in a crate, and if it's a snake, you need to keep it in a bag. That's it.
Good call.
Hard line.
Good call. I've actually seen footage of different people there with their dogs and cats, and it's
Oh,
that
yeah.
is so awesome. Going
I
off to
love
church
it.
with your dog.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
the way
it's
it
one of the
should be.
fun things we do. Yeah.
Good, good. What else makes Anglican Church in Estevan unique?
It's people. It's people. We have a great congregation. There are people who read, pray, study, and really deeply care about one another. We have a fair number of kids and youth, and our youth. We're moving into a family service again. Before COVID, we had 3 Sundays where we had Eucharist or communion, and then one Sunday which was a family service, and we'll be going back to that. And
What does that mean?
So family service is more of a, won't have communion that day, although we do have an 8 o'clock service with communion still. But at the 10 o'clock service, the youth will be doing as much of the service as they can and
Really?
will do. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty
Yeah.
neat.
Yeah, it's their church.
Yeah.
It's their church too. So why should it be all adults when we have youth and kids that are, quite capable and yeah.
I want to go to one of those.
Oh, you're welcome. First
So
Sundays.
why isn't there Eucharist at that at that service then? You call it a mass or a service or?
Well, some can call it depends. Anglican Church is broad. We go from really Anglo-Catholic to, not so.
Okay.
And so we don't have communion that day, just because communion is a priest's job. It's what I do, and so I just want to leave room for them. We'll change up the music a bit and have Sunday school take part and work with Sunday school teachers, see what they want to do about it.
Sounds like a fun church, which we
It
were
is a
talking
fun
earlier
church.
that it should be.
Yes.
So, again, we were talking earlier about a little bit about my background, that I grew up in a Catholic church and now go to a more charismatic one. You talked about Eucharist. Do you guys do the consecration of the hosts, like similar
do.
to the Catholic? Okay.
I do, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's,
Again, I have no background with Anglicans, so I'm not sure where.
Sacramental ministry is my ministry, and we talk. It's not opposed, but in conjunction with lay ministry. So for lay ministry, we have readers and prayers and people who hand out the communion or hold the chalice. Again, with youth, next Sunday I'm training a group of youth who will be distributing the bread from here on out with, why not?
Yeah.
They're all confirmed. They understand what the sacrament is about, and so
Wow, love
Yeah.
it. Not that I want to go back to that C word, but during COVID, what kinds of things did you do? Online services, or how
yeah.
was that?
Well, St. Giles Anglican is really, really blessed to have Wendy Godfrey, and who used to be here. And so Wendy just stepped in right from the very first Sunday that we were out, and we started taping and then putting it onto YouTube.
Oh,
so
good.
we can go back to the very first Sunday. It was very simple to begin with. It was, very simple, and we gradually we built on it after 2 years. Now we have a hybrid worship. Every Sunday it goes out live streamed, and it's also put back on YouTube, and so people can watch whenever.
And that is one of the, I know that we lost a lot during COVID. I keep
Yeah.
talking like it was something in the past, but
Yeah.
one of the things that I found that we did gain is that I know a lot of the seniors who can't make it out to church, now they can still watch their local church
Yes.
while they're at home, and people can still go, and like you said, that hybrid part that just includes everybody then.
It does, and we had people who were part of our congregation because we did a Christmas where we had people send in photos from wherever they worshipped, and so we have people who worship in Saskatchewan and Quebec, and we have people who worship in BC. A lot of them are my family, just saying, but worship every Sunday still. And people who haven't been able to get out to go to their churches, now they can be in their home or in their nursing home, and they can worship alongside of us.
Yeah.
And so
I know that was a concern, is that people wouldn't go back to church afterwards. Have you seen that a lot of them are sitting at home and watching it now rather than coming?
I was having a moment. I was having a moment about 2 to 3 weeks ago, wondering if anybody was ever going to come back. And because it was slowly coming back, and there's always a core of people. And but last Sunday, like, we almost back to normal.
Oh, good.
And our early 8 o'clock service was larger than normal. So then
8
before
a.m.?
COVID, 8 a.m. Yes, ma'am.
Oh yeah, I like going to church, but I don't know about 8 a.m. Like that, you have more than one service then, or?
Yes, we do an 8
Okay.
a.m. service. It's a said service with communion.
Oh.
We just don't sing, but everything else is pretty much the same. And it's for people who, especially in summer, want to get out on the golf course or whatever, and so they come to church. And some people just get up and would like to go to church in the morning and do that. And so then we have a 10
Why
o'clock
don't you have
service.
singing at it?
Well, have to have a musician, and people prefer a quieter time. There are people who just prefer a said worship service.
What does SAID mean?
It's just said, it's not sung.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was an acronym for something. But
No.
Okay, yeah, that would be a different experience. A little more
It's
solemn.
quieter. It's quieter. It's very worshipful. I don't know. I just love church, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, yeah.
I like both.
Right on, good. Okay, let's get back to, we have about 6 minutes left here. Let's get back to the upcoming event.
Okay.
What is your hope? I'm hoping this is going to be an annual event from
Me
now
too.
on.
Me too.
Yeah, have you had a lot of interest so far? Is there a lot of people that are hopefully going to be coming out?
It's hard to say. I know that each of the churches, actually each church was going to receive a poster emailed to their church and to their clergy, and hopefully they'll put it out. And we'll see.
Good.
We'll see. A wise priest once told me that whoever is meant to be there, God will assure that they're there. So
That's right.
I think I've always functioned that way. That's not the only thing that we have going on as we go into Holy Week. We have Maundy Thursday.
Have what?
Maundy Thursday, and it's not Monday, it's Monday, M-A-U-N-D-Y.
Okay.
And it's when we will gather together. I think for that service as well, everyone is invited, but it's intentional. We will have an ecumenical service that the United Church, the Anglican Church, Trinity Lutheran, and I think Salvation Army, yes, will be taking part in the service. And it commemorates the night that Jesus brought all the disciples together and washed feet, and how we serve one another. And it's a reminder that we serve one another, that we are in community, and so that's.
And again, I go back to my Catholic roots. We had a Mass on Holy Thursday that
Yeah.
they actually redid the reenactment of the what. Do you do that too?
Yes,
here?
we do,
Yeah.
and
Right on.
we will be washing people's feet, and if they so choose. I mean, nobody has to, of course,
Right.
and but some people find it deeply moving. I do, to wash another person's feet. It's humbling, and it's meant to be.
And we go back to Jesus' time. I know we're getting fairly close here, but back to Jesus' time where feet were, let's be honest, they wore sandals in dirt. So,
No, that's right.
And you go to somebody's house and you sit down for a meal. So washing
Yes.
somebody's feet, for Jesus to do that,
Yes.
that was the true example of
Yeah.
servanthood right there.
Really,
It's-
yeah. And we as clergy and leaders in the community, we need a little shot of humbling every once in a while. We do, and and that goes from the Pope or the Archbishop of Canterbury right on down. And so for us, it's important, and for me, it's really important that I do that.
Right.
Good Friday morning, of course, we have the Walk of the Cross. St. Giles and some other churches will have a Good Friday service as well.
So after the Walk of the Cross?
After the Walk
Okay.
of the Cross. And on Saturday, which is Holy Saturday, we used to have a Saturday vigil, but you can tire people out too. So we're going down to this year, if we want to take part in a vigil, we've been invited down to the Catholic Church, and we'll go down there.
Okay.
Sunday morning now, That's when I invite you.
Party time.
Sunday morning, we're going to get up with the sunrise, and we're at Churchill Park at 7 a.m. With
7?
communion and a service at 7
wow.
a.m. in the park. The first Sunday I did that in Churchill Park, my teeth were chattering, and I was wearing a downfill, let me tell you.
It's going to be nice this time.
This year. It's going to
Good.
be nice. And so,
Yeah.
we invite everybody to come and join us.
Right on.
7
Good.
a.m.
Good. Sounds like an exciting time.
It is.
Good.
It's my favorite season.
Yeah, like I know Lent is like you said, 40 days plus Sundays. I did not know. I learned something new today. But yeah, that Holy Week, just to make sure that we set that aside for the right reasons.
For the right reasons.
Yeah, for sure.
Because, we know that baby Jesus was born at Christmas, and we all love that, and we all acknowledge that. We have the life of Jesus, and we work through that during the year. When you come to Easter, and where the real meaning falls is that Jesus would give up his life for the rest of us. Mm-hmm. And I don't know that we all totally appreciate that. And we can go deeper into it beginning in Lent, or for some people they just hit the low right at Good Friday. But I think it's a broader experience, and then come up on Sunday. Yeah. So it's like
the true basis of Christianity.
It is
obviously the birth of Jesus is a true celebration, but unless the crucifixion and the rising, we would not be where we're at by any means. So So again, we're just about out of time. So if somebody wants to get involved, where again are you starting? They can come for the whole week. Great.
Absolutely.
Come out to the Anglican Church or any local church in Estevan. But the Walk of the Cross, where is it going to start and what time?
We'll begin at Trinity Lutheran.
Okay.
Don't ask me the address because I don't know it. But Trinity Lutheran is across from the tall building, Trinity Towers there. Okay. And we'll begin there at 9 a.m.
Great. Yeah. Good. Well, I'm hoping everybody comes out and joins. And what a great, I think it'll be a great experience. It'll be following in the steps of Jesus.
Yeah.
Good. Well, thank you for joining us. I know I learned a lot, and I'm hoping our viewers did as well. So thank you for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
And that is this week's Talk of the Town.
Share your pride.